I'm Amber Roy, author of the Bean to Bar Mysteries, and today I'm going to be reading you the opening scene from Something Borrowed, Something 90% Dark, which is the newest book in the series. Hurry back, I say, as I take a seat at the Baroque-looking chair behind my friend Tiff's heavy mahogany desk. Some of her coworkers are looking at me curiously, which makes me a mite self-conscious. Tiff has a couple of pens on her desk, most of them printed with the real estate firm's logo, but one of them is an unexpected sparkly purple pen with a springy hummingbird at the top. I pull the pen out of the cup and make an experimental squiggle on the sticky note pad handy on the desk. It's glittery purple gel ink. I can't help but smile. There's a reason Tiff and I are friends. Every once in a while, she lets her fun side show. I start sketching Nightly, my bunny, whose silhouette is the logo for my craft chocolate shop. I draw him holding a magnifying glass. It makes sense. Sitting at this oversized desk makes me feel like the girl version of Sam Spade or something. The front door opens and a woman strides into the office. She's mixed race with thick hair that cascades halfway down her back. She's wearing a red dress and leopard print pumps. There's a colorful gauzy scarf around her neck, her only acknowledgement that it's cold outside. It looks hand printed. At first, I think this woman must be another of Tiff's coworkers, but she stops at one of the other desks and asks something. The guy sitting there points over towards where I'm sitting, and the woman heads towards me looking puzzled. I put Tiff's hummingbird pen back in the cup, feeling like my Sam Spade daydream has somehow conjured up a femme fatale, which doesn't fit into my real life at all. I'm not even an official detective. I'm a chocolate maker here delivering some custom minis for Tiff to hand out to her clients. You're not Tiff, the woman says in a vaguely accusatory tone. Ironically, I relax. I've had a killer call me out before, challenging me to solve a case, and I've had people ask for help solving murders. So it wouldn't have been impossible that someone would have tracked me here to ask for help. But all this woman wants is a real estate agent, and she's in the right place. After all, this is a real estate agency. Tiff will be back in a minute, I say. I'm Felicity. I own a chocolate shop down on the Strand. The woman blinks at me. I can feel her taking in my pale skin, my brown hair, the sprinkling of freckles across my nose, and the basic navy tee and jeans combo I'm wearing, and how none of it explains why Chocolate Maker is sitting at a real estate agent's desk. To fill the silence, I finally say, Tiff and I have been friends for a while. The woman laughs. Not nearly as long as she and I have. I'm Lydia. Tiff and I went to the same high school. She leans over the desk, offering a hand for me to shake. Why does this feel like she's being somehow competitive? Still, I shake her hand and say, It's nice to meet you, even though so far it hasn't been. Lydia? Tiff says. She's come back from the ladies' room wearing her bridesmaid's dress with bare feet. The dress has a tutu skirt and a green and teal color scheme that makes her look a bit like a peacock. Lydia takes one look at it and busts out laughing. What on earth are you wearing? Tiff says, A dress that makes me feel beautiful. Tiff always looks professional, with her chemically straightened hair and meticulously made up face showing off her black skin to advantage. She's a fan of pantsuits and power skirts, so this dress is quite the departure. I explain. I'm matron of honor for our friend Autumn's wedding. Tiff was humoring me by trying on her bridesmaid's dress. It's a beautiful dress, Lydia says, taking a step closer and reaching out to touch the tulle skirt, stretching out part of the fabric. What do you want? Tiff asked Lydia dryly, batting her hands away. Lydia had described herself as one of Tiff's oldest friends. Something tells me Tiff doesn't feel the same way. Lydia says, I was just in the neighborhood and I thought I would say hi. In the neighborhood? Tiff asked skeptically. Lydia shrugs. I'm representing a client purchasing investment property on Mustang Island. She puts a hand on Tiff's arm. Look, I'm not proud of how we left things at the end of real estate school. I asked to handle this one personally when I found out it would be near the quaint little island you moved to. Tiff frowns. How did you even know I was here? Lydia looks embarrassed. I've been following your Facebook page for years. She hesitates, then says, Please, can we talk? There's something going on, and I could use my one logical friend right now. Her gaze flicks down to Tiff's dress, like she's having second thoughts. Tiff crosses her arm defensively over the low-cut bodice and says, I have a showing in an hour, but tomorrow I'm doing an open house. Swing by 8ish while we're setting up. Tiff nods toward me. Lydia looks over at me. Are you going to be there too? I say, I'm mainly responsible for the snacks. At least my shop is. My pastry chef is the one making the cookies that will make the open house smell and feel like home. I'm just popping them into the oven to bake at the property. Lizzie hesitates, but finally she says, "See you in the morning." She starts to walk away, then she turns back and says, "That dress really does make you look beautiful, like a ballerina or something." Without waiting for a response, she leaves. "Wow," I say. "You said it," Tiff says. "Lydia and I have a complicated history." "I get that," I say. Tiff says, "The way this skirt swishes is going to be spectacular on the dance floor." "Absolutely." I try to get myself back to matron of honor mode. Autumn let each of her bridesmaids choose a unique dress in her color scheme. These dresses are important to her and therefore to me, but not as important as Tiff's happiness. I tell her, "Why don't you change?" And then I glance down at the desk and notice a book sitting catty corner on the sticky notepad. Weird. How had I not noticed it there before? I say, "Hey, I didn't know you read Dashiell Hammett." "I don't know who that is," Tiff says. She steps closer and peers down at her own desk. Her eyes narrow. She asks, "Was Lydia close enough to have slipped this book onto my desk?" "I was sitting here the whole time," I protest. "I mean, she leaned over the desk to shake my hand, but surely I would have noticed her dropping a copy of The Thin Man a foot and a half away from me." "Not necessarily," Tiff says absently. She's studying the desk. "Get up," she says. "What?" I ask, but I vacate her chair. Tiff sits down and starts opening drawers. She says, "Lydia is a kleptomaniac. Over the years, she's stolen more things from me than I can count, including at least one boyfriend. Sometimes she leaves something in the object's place. She refers to this as borrowing." "What does she leave you in place of the boyfriend?" I quip, then immediately regret it as pain enters Tiff's eyes. "There may have been a scarf." Ouch. I can see why Tiff isn't excited about talking with Lydia tomorrow. I notice one of Tiff's coworkers eavesdropping on the conversation. I gesture with my chin so Tiff notices too. Tiff drops her voice, but she doesn't look embarrassed. "Nothing seems missing from the drawers, but I think she took my stapler." Then Tiff gasps, "And she took the hummingbird pin I got at the museum." I look down, and sure enough, the only pins in the cup are the logo ones. And I think there might be fewer of those. Man, she's good. Tiff pushes the book at me. "Here, you take that for your shop. I don't want to look at it." Now it's my turn to stare down at the desk, at the book, and all I can think is, not again. I try to swallow, but my throat has suddenly gone dry. "I don't think that's a good idea." Tiff looks at me, and the indignation over her friend's misdeed has been replaced by anxiety. "You don't really believe that just because there's an old book, you're going to get involved in solving another murder." I finally swallow. "Not necessarily. A few weeks ago, my Aunt Naomi gave me a copy of Anne of Green Gables from when she and my mom were kids, and nothing happened then.